What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rudy Rodriguez Showmont here. I'm a couple days behind as I've been dealing with a lot of MMA combat corner stuff the last few days, but I have been watching women's college basketball, and I did have this article that came across my desk. It was sent to me that Etan Thomas, former NBA player, wrote about Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark, and there were some things that he said in this article that kind of disturbed me a little bit. And it's this is a typical type of article that we've grown accustomed to, um, that just ignores reality. Eh, It just ignores reality of what's going on. And he made one particular comment, wrote one particular thing in this article that really resonated with me hard because, well, I'll tell you about it in a second. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont, aka Rudy the Hammer. For those of you new to the channel, please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit that bell, leave a comment. For those of you who are back again, I appreciate your continued support. Remember, we go live Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. We will be live. So actually, it's members live. My bad. Members live is Tuesday night, 9 p.m. We will go live at 10 p.m. For the large live. So be sure to check it out. If you're not a member, become a member. And if you are a member, I'll see you at members live. If you're not, you don't become one. Hey, appreciate you coming on for the 10 o'clock show. So let's jump on in. Etan Thomas has been very vocal in the past and on issues that are dealt with. This article specifically talks about, I mean, he says perhaps it's because why doesn't Paige Bueckers receive the same fawning attention from large parts of white America as Clark, a player of similar skills? Well, for starters, they're not players of similar skills, and these are the types of gaslit articles that just drive me crazy. It's like saying that Shaq and Patrick Ewing are players of similar skills, when in fact they're not at all similarly skilled. If you're old enough to remember the '90s and early 2000s or whatever, Patrick Ewing was nothing like Shaq. Let's talk about another one. Let's talk about Rick Smits and Shaq. Even Yao Ming and Shaq. These are players that are not remotely the same. Can you imagine comparing Magic Johnson to Steph Curry? There's no comparison. They're not even remotely the same type of player. So their skills are not even close to being the same. And when you see a comment like that, it just shows you some bogus nonsense. Where off the bat, he's starting off with, she bounced back from injuries, and arguably better than, she was better than before. No, she's not better than she was before. Like, that's number one. She's not better than she was before. She had an amazing second half yesterday against Oklahoma. I mean, she went on that 19-0 run by herself. She had 40. I mean, an incredible performance. But Paige Bueckers is not better than she was before she got hurt. We have to get out of this thought process, like this mentality of coming back better than I was before. Man, no, you're not. Like when you blow your knee out, when you pop an Achilles, you're never going to be the same player. Like, you're never going to be that. It's one of those things that drives me crazy when I hear it, because those are serious, significant injuries. And in a sport like basketball, it's very, very rare that you ever see it. I mean, Kevin Durant, he's good. Is Kevin Durant better than he was before he blew his Achilles? Not a chance. Nowhere near it. It's not close. It's not close. He is not better than what he was. Heck, he's probably 80% of what he was. He's not the same player. He's just not. So that in itself, talking about, similar skills, they don't have similar skills. That's why people aren't fawning over Paige the way they fawned over Caitlin Clark. I know they want to talk about middle white America and talk about, the fact that she went to Iowa. Yes, I think that played a role. Paige has not gotten that fawning attention because she goes to UConn. It's a little hard for most people to respect someone's game at a certain level when they're given a bucket of diamonds If I give you a bucket of diamonds and make you rich, you don't have to do much to maintain that wealth, right? You can screw it up naturally, but you don't have to do a lot to maintain that. Paige Bueckers was given a bucket of diamonds at UConn. There's 10 McDonald's All-Americans on her team. She's playing on a team loaded with talent. The fact that they've had injuries, I don't care about that. They've had injuries, yet they still have more McDonald's All-Americans, even when injured, than the other team that they're playing. So I attribute that to maybe Gino Auriemma's failure at coaching and not developing these players that he needs to develop more in the event that someone does get hurt. But you can't even remotely compare what Paige Bueckers has done at UConn to what Caitlin Clark did at Iowa. It's not even remotely close. You got one girl playing with a bunch of people you could pick up at the rec center, and you got another one playing with stars. And yet, both of them are fairly, when it comes to team success, they're both pretty much equal. They're both pretty much equal, which means the player that's picking up the rec center players is better, does more, has a bigger impact. Not to mention, does things that we've never seen Paige do. We've not. Until this last game, I've never seen Paige do some of the things that she did in this last game. And credit to her, she did it. Because she did. Why wasn't she doing that for 35 games? I don't mean scoring 40, but just the things that she was doing. I've always said that Paige Bueckers is probably the most efficient player in college women's basketball. But she's never been a better passer than Caitlin Clark. She's never been a better shooter than Caitlin Clark. She's never been a better facilitator than Caitlin Clark. She's never been better at pushing tempo than Caitlin Clark. Like, she's probably a better mid-range shooter. That's what she is. I would argue that she's not even a better finisher around the basket than Caitlin Clark. But let's continue. He says, perhaps it's because, unlike Clark, Bueckers has always been outspoken about issues off the court. At the 2021 ESPYs, Bueckers was named the College Athlete of the Year. She used her acceptance speech to celebrate and honor Black women in particular. The funny thing is, when Black women get honored, win these awards, they don't honor anybody but themselves. It's very rare that you see any player honor everyone else except for themselves. Like thanking people, sure, but that nonsense that Paige did, whatever, in 2021 was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was just, maybe she was, trying to get ahead of the curve and knowing what could happen if she doesn't, but it was ridiculous. Because this comment of they don't get the media coverage that they deserve, that's complete bullshit, because Black women's basketball players have been getting the coverage for years because there's never been any good white ones for the most part. So I don't know what that is. That's not true. It's not true. It's just not true. She says this is what the article says. Only at 19 at the time, she told the audience that in previous WNBA season, 80% of the postseason awards were won by Black players, but they received a fraction of the coverage given to the world. Who were the white peers? Who? 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 Please. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Are we talking about like maybe Diana Taurasi? Come on, man. Just going through it. This is all a script. This is all the quotes. So he says this: while Black America cheered Bueckers, it seemed like mainstream white America demographic that once viewed her as in her words, a media darling, weren't singing her praises quite as much, and still don't. Is this coincidence, or maybe because her injuries have made people forget her greatness as an athlete? Possibly, but she's back from injury now. So why aren't people as focused on Bueckers as they were on Clark last season when she was tearing up college basketball? Maybe if Bueckers had delivered a more vanilla ESP speech, things would have been different. No, no. And you know what? I'm going to give maybe or maybe not. Or maybe you have to accept the fact that what Caitlin Clark was unprecedented last year. What Caitlin Clark did for the last 2 years at Iowa were pretty much unprecedented. You've never seen a player like Caitlin Clark. You just had never seen it before. She was doing things that you only see men do. So Paige Bueckers has never been that type of player. But beyond that, let's remember where Paige Bueckers is actually from. She's from Minnesota. She's from Minnesota. She's from middle white America, and she chose to go to the Northeast. If Paige Bueckers had made the choice to stay in the Big Ten and played at one of these middle America schools, including her hometown, her home school, Minnesota, if she had gone to Minnesota, she would be on Mount Rushmore for people probably. But even that probably wouldn't have done what has happened with Caitlin Clark, because flat out, Caitlin Clark was the most prolific college women's basketball player we've ever seen. We've ever seen. Not to mention Paige Bueckers, for as good of a year she's had this season, she's not even been the best player in college basketball this year. If the reality was the reality, the player that should have gotten the National Player of the Year award is Lauren Betts. I get it. People have a love affair with Juju Watkins. Lauren Betts should have been the National Player of the Year. She might still win. I don't know if this has even been announced yet, but there's no question to me that the most impactful player in college women's basketball has been Lauren Betts. Now, has she had the best season? No, but she is definitely the most impactful player. I mean, if you watch the game today versus LSU, she scored 17. She was actually locked down pretty good by LSU, but she blocked a bunch of shots. Anissa Morrow had a very rough game, and end of the day, Juju Watkins Flau'jae Johnson could not carry LSU. She had 28, but pretty much everybody else was largely not very good on her team. And LSU, I thought, played really, really well overall. I knew where there would be a struggle. The struggle would be size. LSU was too small. That's the thing of too good little versus good big. Good big's usually going to win. And heck, it's why South Carolina beat Iowa last year. Good big beat good little. And when you look at that speech doesn't do anything for me. If Paige Bueckers had gone to a middle America school where she could be a superstar level player, not surrounded by superstar level players, you lose that it factor when you're playing with all-stars. I'm sorry, you'll always lose that. And then he talks about this Angel Reese effect, that you're missing the villain from it. If you think so, you think so, Etan. That's on you. You think that. It is what it is. Like those types of things. I believe that Caitlin Clark made Angel Reese, not the other way around. Much of the media made Reese the villain to Clark's heroine after the Black Princess upstaged the Great White Hope. And see, even the way he wrote that is just fucking ridiculous. For starters, nobody hated Angel Reese going into the Final Four. That's what makes it so funny. There was no one that had this animus with Angel Reese. Nobody did. There wasn't any issues with Angel Reese. And then Angel Reese does what she did after they won the championship, or as the seconds are winding down, and they're all basing it off of the fact that Caitlin Clark did this when she wasn't even doing it at the perceived target, which was Haley Van Lith at the time, a white girl, I might add, which I actually which makes it more ironic, is that the perceived target of the "You Can't See Me" by Caitlin Clark was actually Haley Van Lith, for which later on was debunked, saying Haley Van Lith, so she wasn't doing it to me. She was doing it to somebody else. I guess a trainer or something like that. But it wasn't to her. And she didn't do it from 3 inches away from her, which is what the problem was, is that's what Angel Reese ended up doing after that game, which we all know. It is what it is. This is what bugs me. And there's no black villain for Bueckers to compete against. Well, I don't think that matters. I think if Bueckers was doing the things that Caitlin Clark did and did them in a Big Ten school in Middle America, she would be getting and did to that level, because you keep saying that she's great, but Paige Bueckers is averaging 18, 19, 20 points per game this year. Caitlin Clark averaged 31 and a half last year. Like, this is the Caitlin Clark led the country in assists. This is not a comparison. Even the year before, Caitlin Clark averaged 20, 28, 29 per game, led the country in assists. This is a player that led the country in scoring and assists for 3 straight years and led the country in scoring for 4 straight years. And yet she didn't win National Player of the year that Paige Bueckers got it. Because realistically, Caitlin Clark was better than Paige Bueckers when Paige Bueckers was a freshman. She was already better than her. She had a better year than her. She just didn't play at UConn. She just didn't play at UConn. This is the particular part of this article that really fucking fries me. And I'm going to share it specifically. Right here. Meanwhile, during Ramadan, Bueckers cooks breakfast for her Muslim teammate Jana El Alfi, sings gospel songs, the black versions, before games, has a level of connection with her black teammates that truly resembles a sisterhood, was raised by her black stepmother, has black stepbrothers and sisters, has had black boyfriends, has designated herself as an ally to her black teammates on multiple occasions, not just in her ESB speech. All of this simply does not sit well with that certain demographic who embraced Clark and championed her for the wrong reasons. That's your opinion, by the way. You can't write something as fact when it's your opinion of why you think they championed her or the reasons. That's not to say all of Clark's fans fall into this category, nor is this the fault of Clark, who just wants to play basketball. Bueckers is a special player and deserves every ounce of praise and respect both on and off the court, for which she gets. But if she does end up winning a championship and still doesn't receive the praise given to Clark, you'll know why. No, we won't know why, Etan, because if she doesn't get because she's playing with stars. Like, bro, what do you not understand about that? The fact that you're a former ball player, and you don't get that is crazy to me. It's utterly crazy to me. Does Steph Curry get criticized because he didn't win a championship at Davidson? No, the fact that he took Davidson to the Elite Eight was nothing short of a miracle. Was nothing short of a miracle. He doesn't get criticized for that. You guys criticize Clark for not winning a championship on a team that had no one that was really any good. Kate Martin is largely in the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. But this particular paragraph, where it talks about she has a connection with her black teammates. All right. Let's think about that for a second. She cooks breakfast for someone. First of all, I don't know why she's cooking breakfast for this player. Maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe are they in Ram? I don't even know. When is Ramadan? Yeah, maybe they're in Ramadan right now. And is there a rule for fasting? And when I don't even know what the rules are. Rules during Ramadan, Muslims must abstain from eating, drinking, and engaging in from dawn to sunset with the intention of spiritual growth. Let's see what else. Muslims eat a pre-dawn meal before the start of the fast. The fast is broken with a meal after sunset. Okay, I don't know why she's cooking her breakfast. I can't find anything if there's a rule for that. I know with Jewish people on Saturdays, like Orthodox Jews, you can't even touch a button. Like you can't turn on the stove, you can't drive a car if you're truly following the rules. But she sings gospel songs. Who fucking cares? Who cares? Is this what we're doing? Did you go and search that out, Etan Thomas? She sings gospel songs. Okay. So what does she what does she do with the white teammates? How does she endear herself to the white teammates? Does she listen to country music? Like, how stupid is that? Does she listen to country music? Does she listen to, I don't know, Justin Timberlake? I'm old, man. That's the best I can come up with. This is silly. She sings gospel music before games. I don't know a damn player. I played sports for a very, very long time. I don't know one damn player that ever listened. And I went to Catholic school. I don't know one player, maybe there are some, that ever listened to gospel music before a damn game. Can we stop? Can we stop? Tell me which player is jamming the gospel before the game. And maybe people ain't gonna like this, but tell me who's jamming the gospel. But I'm gonna that's my bigger beef is this statement about she was raised by her black stepmother, has black stepbrothers and sisters, has black boyfriends. First of all, I thought she was a lesbian, so I don't know how she has black boyfriends. Maybe she did have a black boyfriend. I thought she was lesbian. She dresses like a damn boy, but that's neither here nor there. So I've never heard her. We never seen her with a dude. So please do tell me if she's not a lesbian or if she likes both. I don't know, but she dresses like a boy. Now, all those things. According to other people who have made the statement, well, I got black friends. You got black friends, right? So that means you're not racist, right? That means you have no issues with black folks, right? People say that a lot, right? And they get crucified for it. Hell, I got crucified for saying that my wife is black. I got crucified for having black children. I'm talking about me. I got crucified in a certain place for saying, you call me, like when you want to refer to someone as racist, right? Well, my wife is black, my kids are black. In fact, I've been married twice, and my first wife was black also. My second wife is black. All three of my children are black. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, which I can guarantee you has done more, and I've done more in my life for the black community than Paige Bueckers has. But yet I was told on a podcast that I was racist because I said that my wife was black. And Etan Thomas just used that exact argument for why Paige Bueckers isn't. And it doesn't sit well with a certain demographic. It's amazing. That same demographic seems to love me. That same demo seems to be the biggest watchers of my show. And I thank you for that. But it's rather amusing that the same people who watch my show are the demographic that may have a certain problem with Paige Bueckers just because she's got a black stepmom, black stepbrothers and sisters, black boyfriend. The boyfriend thing is what took me for the loop because I thought she liked girls. She probably does. I don't know. But when I said that same thing as a comment back to being called a racist, I was told a bigger racist, basically. Yet your brother, Etan Thomas, lady, you remember who you are. You remember who you are. Your brother, Etan Thomas, is literally using that exact argument for why Paige Bueckers is endeared by the black community and could not possibly have any racial issues with black people. Yet I've done more in my life with black people than she has. I mean, it's ironic. The irony is in your face. This article, and if she does, and if she does end up winning a championship, and it's a possibility right now, I will say it's a possibility. They're gonna play UCLA. If they win tomorrow, they're gonna play UCLA. All right, in the Final Four, and we shall see. We shall see. I got UCLA. I picked UCLA to win the championship, so I'm sticking with my pick because I think that you just can't. You can't teach 6'7" and skill like you got in Lauren Betts. You just can't teach that. But at the end of the day, if they were to win the championship, why would she deserve more praise or get the praise given to Clark? She will not have accomplished a fraction of what Caitlin Clark accomplished. Caitlin Clark accomplished things that Bueckers could never accomplish because Caitlin Clark didn't play with 10 Mickey D's All-Americans every year of her collegiate career. She played with rec league players, and Paige is playing with stars. It's just that simple. But what's new? It just it's nothing. It's nothing funnier than reading that she got the black friend, therefore she can't. And I'm not saying she is. I'm saying that every time a white person uses them, well, I got a number of friends that are black, they get called racist even more. My wife is black. I got called even harder. My kids, every one of half my family. I created black children through my wife, my first wife and my second wife. But that's not enough. But for Paige, it's okay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate y'all. This is Rudy's Rant. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, Rudy's Rant. Come on now.